wants her daughter to have something tasty, and she's also embarrassed from her son-in-law. The son-in-law is going to make mother-in-law jokes about if it comes back tasting lousy. Everything I give to your mother, look at it comes back horrible. So the mother-in-law is concerned about that. So she's going to switch it to make it. So over there we're concerned about switching. In a regular case, we're not concerned about switching. In a regular case, we're not concerned that the person is going to switch some of the spices or some of the items, the ingredients. But Tanan, Hanais in Lepundikis, if someone gives to Lepundikis Shalai, if someone gives to his innkeeper something to make, a pot or a dough to bake, Maser Eshunaisanla, he has to give Meiser what he gives her, Veshunaitel Mimena, and also what he takes from her, because we assume, because we're concerned that maybe the innkeeper is going to switch the spices, switch something, and that's in there. So the Gemara says that that's a different story. Why? Chasam Nami, over there also, we're going to learn first according to Rashi, then we'll read it again according to Tosfos. Moira ve'amra, she's going to be Moira Heter. She's going to give her, excuse herself. And she's going to say, Bar beirav lechal chamima. Let the yeshiva bacher eat the hot food, v'ana echal karira, and I'll eat the cold food. So yeshiva bacher and the poor kid, he's staying at the inn where he has his food wasn't as good, so I'm going to give him the better food, and I'll take the cold one. That's what. So over there, we're concerned that they're going to switch it. Tosfos is a little surprised at this. He says, "Moira va'amra, she's Moira heter, and she's going to make it worse for herself." Something's funny about that. Moira heter usually means she's going to excuse herself, and she's going to do something that's wrong. Tosfos reads it exactly the opposite. He says, "Bar beirav lechal chamima." The yeshiva bacher is going to eat the hot food. V'ano echal kriir, and I'm going to eat the cold food. Give the yeshiva bacher the stale bread. I'll take the good one. He doesn't need the. You found there's two types of. There's the Tosfos cook, and there's the Rashi cook. Okay. So, but whatever the case is, these are cases where we are concerned about switching. I always think about when these Gemaras, I always think about someone sent around the picture of hot dogs in a coffee pot in a hotel room. That they said, never use the coffee pot in the hotel room because this is what someone could do. They could put hot dogs in the coffee pot and to boil it, to cook it up. So the question is, do you have to be concerned that someone did that? I mean, the coffee pot is made for coffee. There's nothing else that it would be used for. This guy is like outlier. So is that a real concern? I don't know if it's a real concern. But here this Gemara is discussing those. Do I have to be worried that someone would do something abnormal? And then, but it's possible that it could happen, but do I have to be worried about that? So here, you're giving your food to some non-observant of the laws of Meiser or Shvius, someone non-observant to cook. Do you have to be worried that they're going to do something abnormal? They're going to switch it with their own things and all of that. Okay. The Gemara now asks, we're not concerned about exchanges, but Tanya, we're also going to have two interpretations. We'll learn first like Rashi. Eishes chaver techenes and meishes hamaretz. Talking about grinding flour. Eishes chaver. A chaver is someone that keeps the laws of purity. So the wife of someone that keeps the laws of purity, that means she keeps the laws of purity. She's allowed to grind flour together with an amaretz. Now there's a concern with the amaretz that if the flour belongs to the amaretz, then the grain, the meiser wasn't taken. So there's a concern that maybe the eishes chaver is going to taste some of it, and meiser wasn't taken. But she's nevertheless allowed to do this. She's allowed to grind together with the eishes amaretz. Bisman shei timeya, when she's impure.
Who's she?
We're talking about. Right now we're talking about the eishes chaver. According to Rashi. talking about the if she's Tameya. Avalei Bisman she Torah. Why? The reason is because when she's Tameya, when the Eishes Chaver is Tameh, she's very careful what she touches. So she's only going to be helping in ways that she's not going to actually touch the actual food. So we have no concern if she's Tameh that she's not going to eat from the grain. If she's Tahar, then she's mixing into the food itself. She's touching the food. She's less conscious of what she's touching, and she may end up eating some of it, and Meiser wasn't taken. Reb Shimon ben Elazar Reimer, Afizman Shitmei Loi Titchain. Shimon ben Elazar says even if she's Tameh, she shouldn't be grinding. Mipnei shechaverten leisenes lavei chelas, because her friend may put the food into her mouth, and she's going to eat it. She's not going to touch it, but the friend may say, "Here, take a taste." He holds a spoon out, and she's concerned about her hands, but she may take a taste, and she's going to forget about the meiser aspect. Now the Gemara concludes. It says, "Hash the migzal gazla." This woman that's feeding the Eishes Chaver the food, she's stealing. Whose food is this? Whose grain is this? It's her husband's grain, and she's going and she's feeding it to her friend. She's feeding her husband's grain to her friend. Are we not concerned if she's ready to steal that she won't? We're not concerned that she's not going to switch it with other food. If you give her a pot, she steals. So you can't trust her that she's not going to exchange items, one item for another item. And we said before that there's no concern. You can give a neighbor something to bake. You don't have to be concerned about that. Unless it's a mother-in-law or yeshiva bacher, you don't have to worry. So what do you mean? An Eishes Hamaretz is ready to steal and feed her friend from her husband's grain. For sure you should be concerned that she's going to switch an item, an ingredient for one. Okay, Tosfos is bothered by the way this Gemara is going. It says, 1 second, that's not stealing. We have in the laws of tzedakah that a wife is allowed to give a small amount of tzedakah to someone that comes to the door, even though she's giving from her husband's money. The husband gives her the rights to do that. She's allowed to feed something small to someone that comes to the door. She doesn't need to ask permission to do that. Tosfos also says that how is the wife? How is she assisting the Eishes Hamaretz in grinding the grain that Meiser wasn't taken? She's Misayeya Oivre Aver. She's helping someone eat non-kosher. So there's a problem with this. The way Rashi is learning this Gemara, that there's more involved here that doesn't allow the Gemara to read properly. So Tosfos learns it different. He says that we're dealing with that the grain belonged to the woman that was the chaver. And Bisman Shi Tmeya means that the Eishes Hamaretz is Tmeya. But Eishes Hamaretz is always considered Tmeya because it doesn't keep things Tara. But Bisman Shi Tmeya means if the Eishes Hamaretz considers herself Tmeya, then you can allow her to grind together with you because she's not going to touch it. But if she considers herself Tahira, then that's the worst. We consider her Tameh, she considers herself Tahira, and she's going to be touching the food, so then you're not allowed to allow her to do that. And Mipnei Shechaverta, so now how does this finish off? But now when she's Tahira, Reb Shimon ben Elazar says that even if she's Tameh, you can't allow her. Why? She's not going to touch it, because she's going to give to her friend another Amaretz who she thinks she's tar is going to give her to eat because she's going to bring along her friend. And here there's a real concern that this woman is a guest. She's going to bring along another friend, and this friend has no rights over there. And the friend the friend thinks she's tar, and she's going to feed her. The Gemara is asking if they're ready to steal, to take the food and to feed someone else that wasn't even invited there. So what about exchanging one ingredient for another ingredient? That should definitely be a concern. So Amar Rabbi Yosef responds, Hasam Nami Meir. Over there, there's also a reason why the Meir had to. They excuse themselves. Tura midisha ka'achal. When an ox is threshing the grain, you're not allowed to put a muzzle on it. So because they're working there, so that's why they're excusing themselves why they're eating. Because while you're working, you're allowed to eat. So here also, they're allowed to eat, but normally they won't exchange food, one item for another item. Heyed Rabbi Yeshua ben Zeruz ben Chamav shel Reb Meir lefnei Rabbi al Reb Meir she'ochal ala shel yerek bebeis Shan. Rabbi Yeshua ben Zeruz, who's ben Chamav shel Reb Meir, he's a
brother.
Ben Chamav is a brother-in-law. It's a brother-in-law. It must be. I thought Reb Meir was married to Rabbi Chanina ben Shadian's daughter. It's interesting. Does anyone comment in the art scrolls?
It says over here, son of the father. So he's the son of the father-in-law.
Right, it's a brother-in-law.
Son of the father-in-law.
Yeah, but I thought that Reb Meir's father-in-law was Rabbi Shua ben Chananya, not Zerus. Okay, I don't know. Maybe the pshat is that Yeshua ben Zerus ben Chamav. Rabbi Yeshua ben Zerus ben Chamav shel Reb Meir. Maybe it's a grandson-in-law. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Yeshua ben Chananya had Rabbi Chanina ben Shadian had a son, Zerus. And that's the ben Chamav. In other words, there's no comma.
Doesn't say his daughters. He only had
Brunia.
daughters.
And then there was a sister, the one that got captured. And Meir had her freed. Anyway.
Could be the son of Elkanah, no problem.
Yeah, but why is he called Ben Zerus?
It's always a father.
Mazada's b'mitzvahs.
Okay.
It's not always a father.
Okay. Al Reb Meir, Lefnei Rabbi, he testifies in front of Rabbi on Reb Meir that Reb Meir ate a leaf of a vegetable in Bais Shan. Bais Shan was not in the land of Israel. V'hitte Rabbi es Bais Shan kula al yadai, and Rabbi allows the entire Bais Shan to be permitted. And you don't have to take meiser. So Reb Meir ate this leaf without taking meiser. Now the thing is, meiser is really biblically on grain and on wine and oil. It's not on vegetables. That's only a rabbinic decree. So here it's like a double rabbinic decree. It's outside the land of Israel, and it's also not even it's not even the original law of Meiser. So Rebbe now, because of this testimony, Rebbe now allows the whole Beishan to be permissible regarding the laws of Meiser. He took away the laws of Meiser from this area. So Chavar Lavachav Beisavil, Rebbe's brothers and his father's house, they like gang up on him. Amalai, they say Makam Shaveisecha Vaveisavisecha Nagu Bayiser, an area where your father and your father's fathers, they considered this prohibited. Atatinik by Heter, you're going to be lenient. So Darash Lam Mikrazeh, he goes ahead and he reads the following pasuk. It says, "V'kites nechasha nechashes asuasim ma'isa kiada yam mahema hayu bnei Yisrael mekachin lay v'yikr lay nechashtan." This is Chizkiah. Chizkiah took the copper snake that Moshe made when the people were dying. He made a snake. They should look up at the snake to be healed. So people were worshiping the snake. So Chizkiah went and he destroyed it. He ground it up. This is the Mishnah in Psachim, I think. It says this is one of the things that the sages were happy with, right? Chizkiah did 6 things. One of them was 3 of them they were happy, 3 of them not. This is one of the ones that they were happy with. But the Rebbe says, "Efsher ba asa v'lay bi'aray, ba Yoshafat v'lay bi'aray." We have these righteous kings, Asa and Yoshafat. These were tzaddikim, like we learned yesterday about Yoshafat. These were tzaddikim, and this thing, they destroyed all the avodah zaros. Asa and Yoshafat, they destroyed all of these avodah zaros. And this one they left. and now Chizkiah comes and he destroys it. How's that possible? It says, Ela makam inicholai avaisav liskadabai. Rather, the fathers left a place for him to make a fence. In other words, to do something big. Rashi's liskada means liskadal. To do something special. Afani makam inicholai avaisai liskadabai. So here also, my fathers left me a place for me to make a chiddush, to do something special. Okay, let's leave that over there. We'll stop at Mikan. So, but Rabbi's saying that he's allowed to do something even though his fathers did it different, because this is a special thing. Today we learned from Nassan, we learned the reason why
60-second summary.
Why the Kutim. What happened with the Kutim? What was their conclusion? We learned how this is relevant also for Erevin, and then we also learned about giving things to other people. Will they mix it in? Will they exchange? Will they not exchange? Different areas where there's a concern, where there's no concern. And finally we learned a Gemara that seems not to be connected, but that Reb Meir ate a leaf. The connection would have to be that if a tzaddik, if an animal of a tzaddik went to an aver, for sure Reb Meir, and concerning this area of Beishan, if it's chayav and Ma'aser.
Beishan is the same